Everybody, I'm Michael Nettemeyer here with Geoff King and Joe Geary, and we are your hosts for the WITWIN podcast. Now, WITWIN means whatever it takes, whenever it's needed. This is all things real estate we're going to be talking about. And, guys, why did we really want to start this? This is our first episode. So what was kind of our purpose in wanting to get this thing going?
I think one of the biggest purposes behind this is to bring an educational forefront to how we can get started in real estate and how we can also make a big difference on getting up and running as opposed to just kind of going through the motions. And how do you really grow a business purposefully and not be more reactionary and let business happen to you?
Agreed, because I think a lot of it is, real estate is glamorized in the TV industry now, right? So you see everybody on these $1 million listing shows and everything like that, and it looks easy, right? So people start thinking, hey, I can do real estate. I like people. I looking at pretty houses, and there's a lot more to it. That's a very small part of what we do.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of realtors nowadays are really unprofessional. I mean, people can just get their license and say they're a realtor. I mean, basically anybody can do that. And we just want to bring that a lot further and just show people that you actually have to be professional. It's an actual business. It's not just playtime on HGTV.
Totally agree. Because, honestly, think about it. Like to get your real estate license, you go to school for 8 days, right? We talk about this all the time in our training. Go to school for 8 days, right? You take a test. You have to get a C- on the test or better. Right, and then once you pass, you're a realtor. You can go out and start making, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars, whatever it is. And there's really no ongoing training except for 12 hours of continuing education every 2 years.
So 30 minutes a month.
30 minutes a month, yeah. So we got 30 minutes a month of ongoing education, and that's really all it takes to be a realtor, right? And so that's why we talk a lot about, the real estate professional versus the realtor. I mean, what are some things we do here every single day, guys? I mean, let's just talk through it. Yeah. I mean, honestly, what are we doing every day to improve our skill set?
Yeah, and definitely it's about raising those standards too. So you talk about only needing 30 minutes a month of practice. We do 30 minutes of script practice every single day, 5 days a week, and that's helping us get better communicating with clients and even communicating with prospective buyers and sellers too, to really understand how we can help make a difference. And I think that communication aspect of it and being confident in our delivery of what we can actually do to help a person buy or sell a house and then teach them through the process, not just assume that they know everything, is really beneficial. I know it helped me learn, especially get started. So script practicing every day is a night and day difference from when I know I first started. I'm sure you guys probably feel the same.
Yeah, I think the lead generation too, just the consistency of it, because you'll see a lot of agents that will just go for a day and do lead gen for 1 day a month and think that's enough to hold them over, but really it's just the consistency in doing it every single day, which everybody should be doing if you're actually going to be a quote-unquote business in this industry.
Well, and I think there's a lot of it too that in this industry, a lot of people, you don't know what you don't know, right? Like I know when I got into the industry, 13 years ago, I was at a company where it was, okay, sit at the front desk and hold open houses, right? Now, open houses can be really effective if you know what you're doing, but if you're going out and putting up 2 signs on a Sunday morning and doing nothing else to promote your open house, who's going to show up? And nobody did.
Yeah, and it goes back to the whole training thing too, where if you don't get the proper training for those houses, they're not going to be effective.
Yeah, and there are actually brokerages that'll tell you, hey, plan on 6 to 8 months before you make a sale.
That's way too long.
I mean, it's insane, right? If you're at a brokerage like that where they're telling you 6 to 8 months to make your sale, you're at the wrong brokerage, right? And if they're telling you sit at the front desk and wait for people to call in, and that's a very passive and just a reactive way of going out and trying to get business, you need to be proactive, right? And that's what we do here. We're picking up the phone, we're making contacts, we're frequent every single day, hitting the phones, and you can't just wait for somebody to call you because your phone's never going to ring. Right?
Yeah, especially in the beginning, and that's what I noticed is that having a schedule where you're building in that lead generation, actually time blocking it on your calendar is extremely helpful, because if you don't know who you're supposed to be calling or what you're going to do during the entire day, and you're just kind of shooting from the hip the whole week, you really don't accomplish too much. But if you're purposeful and laying out, this is the time that I'm going to be on the phone, lead generating and having these conversations to try to find people that want to buy or sell a home, it's way easier to have a more predictive business. And I think that's what I like seeing, especially as we fast forward in time from when we started this lead generation and being very purposeful with it. And in 6 hours a week at a bare minimum is more than some people do probably in an entire year in some cases.
Right, yeah. And it all goes back to that training, right? Because in the real estate industry, everyone preaches lead generation. Well, at least with Keller Williams, who we're with, right? They're preaching lead generation. but then they're not really showing you how to do it. Right. And maybe they are. There's little glimpses here and there, but I think that's also so important. And one of the reasons we're wanting to do this is because there's so much training out there now where people are trying to sell stuff, and to be honest, they've never even mastered their craft, right? They're trying to sell products, and they're selling 10, 15 homes a year, and they're trying to sell a system on, hey, how to be a great for sale by owner agent. And they're only selling 15 homes a year, right? And so that's one of the reasons we wanted to do this too for you guys, is because we're in the trenches every single week, every day. We're actually doing it. We're not one of these coaches too. I've spent thousands of dollars on training, learning from people that maybe did it 10 years ago, right? The industry's changed since 10 years ago, right? It's no longer this thing about, okay, what worked 10 years ago may not work today. Maybe it will, but maybe not. But we want to teach you guys from our experience and what we're actually doing every single day, not just theory. Like, I could go tell you what to do, but I need to be actually doing it as well. And that's why I still make calls with everybody too, right?
Definitely.
We're all out there every single day doing it, because it's not just me saying, hey guys, go make phone calls, right? Go make phone calls, because I need to be in the trenches too. So I know how hard it is to continue to lead generate while you're servicing a ton of clients.
Absolutely.
Right? Because we don't want to be on this real estate roller coaster. We want to have a trajectory of having our business grow. And that's one of the reasons we wanted to bring this podcast to you. And as you're going to see as we get really going in this thing, we're going to talk a lot about different things, like you had mentioned, time blocking, right? How to be intentional, how to sharpen your skill set every single day so that you're constantly getting better. And you're not one of those agents out there, like the average agent sells, 3 homes a year?
3 a year.
3 a year. I mean, you're poor. You're
That's
broke,
very poor.
right? You're selling 3 homes a year, you're living at the poverty line, right? And that's not cool. And so that's one of the big things we want to bring to you guys, is just how to get better every single day.
And not have to spend your entire day in a classroom. That was the biggest difference for me too, is that if you were going to have to go and sit in a classroom after taking the test, after passing the license, in order to learn how to be a realtor, it would have taken much, much longer than it has than just getting on the phones, making phone calls, setting appointments, going on those appointments, stumbling along the way, of course, but the faster that you fail, the faster that you can get ahead, so that you know not to make those same mistakes over the long run. And I think that's really been the key here of getting this up and going, and as fast as it has been, getting us into production really as new agents, knowing absolutely nothing about real estate, not coming from a real estate background in any way, shape, or form. My background was actually in computer science, so that tells you that I knew pretty much nothing about coming into real estate, but I did know that it is about being able to have conversations with people, and the more conversations that you can have with those people, eventually you'll get in front of the right person that does want to buy a home, or does want to sell a home, or wants to invest in property, or even start a career. And it's way different than having to go and sit in a training class or sit in a course for 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours a day. It's much easier to get on the phone and actually just start making phone calls and talking to people and seeing how those conversations go, especially because of all the training that we do every day that gets you prepared for that.
Right.
It's all applicable. How can you apply what you learn as opposed to just learn about learning real estate? That was the biggest difference for me.
Agreed, because you can spend all your time just training, right? There's tons of training out there, both free and stuff that you have to pay for, right?
Yeah, and like when I started myself too, I just went to training all the time. There were some people you'd see in training class every single day. They could know how to write the perfect contract, but I mean, they're not doing the lead generation,
right.
So they're never going to have the opportunity to write that contract. So I feel the best way to learn this industry is just learning from experience. So I'd say just jump in it right away and just learn as you go. Put the cart before the horse.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Because you're right, you can have those career students that, like you said, are in every single class. Yeah. But they can write the perfect contract, but they're never going to write one.
Yeah, like what's the point if you're never going to write one?
And that's why on our team, it's kind of like we want to teach you to get into production right away, because we can teach you how to write a contract. There's only 15 spots where you have to actually fill something in. The rest of it's all filled out for you, right? And so we'll teach you how to fill those blanks in. But what we really need to teach you is how to get in front of people, like how to work your database, how to expand your database, because you only know so many people, right?
That's right.
So database is, your SOI, your database, that's a great source of business, but you need to go beyond that if you really want to take this to the next level. And so I think that's, for me, one thing is that we want to talk a lot on, this year is going to be how to grow that database, how to grow your inner circle to make it, to cast a wide net to get in front of as many people as possible.
Definitely, yeah. Having a good, solid SOI is a great starting point, because it's easy to have conversations with people that you already know. But if they aren't ready to buy a house and you have to start to grow outside of your SOI, figuring out a way to do consistent lead generation is how you grow your database. Yeah. And it's a lot, from what I've seen anyway, it's a lot of things that people are fearful of, is going out and handling that rejection, for example. You're going to get told no a ton of times, and you have to be able to overcome that and have confidence in yourself, really, that that it's all the no's that keep going and snowball eventually to you get that first yes, and then you're like, oh, wait a minute, this absolutely works, and then you start getting yes on a more frequent basis of people just wanting to know how much their home's worth, and we can go and sit down in front of them and meet with them and have those conversations and really continue to add value in every conversation that we have. It's not transactional. It's not are you ready to sell your house today? No, you're not. That's okay. We can continue to have the conversation over 3 months or 6 months, however long it takes to get them ready. Obviously, the sooner the better, but it's not one of those things where we feel it's transactional in the sense that if it's a no right now, it's a no forever. You know, you have to follow up with people. Yeah. And the gold, as you say, Michael, is always in that follow-up.
Yeah,
so.
70% of your business comes from follow-up, right? And Mike on our team, he's a great testament to that. I mean, he got kills on follow-up. Right, and it's one of the things that we're not that good at, right? We always, as salespeople, we want to go out and make that first sale, but you've got to be following up. You're absolutely right, and so that's part of what we want to bring to you guys. Throughout the year, we really want to talk about, this is going to be great for new agents, people getting into the industry. We have a lot of people on our team that have been on our team less than a year in the industry and having a lot of good success, right? And it's not just one of those things where it's not going to take 8 months. Like in the first, what did you do in the first month you were on the team?
First month?
Yeah.
A lot of appointments.
Yeah.
A lot of appointments.
Put a few under contract.
Yeah. Full pipeline.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Blew up. I mean, before I was just really stagnant, just kind of struggling to just kind of, break that boundary and start getting listings. But as soon as I joined the team, I could just see stuff happening immediately. Because like before, my pipeline was kind of like, Post-it notes here and there. No real database and organization of, where my leads are at and everything. So, once I got on the team, it was all organized. I had full pipeline, listings starting to come under contract. So, it just helped tremendously having that training, being able to sharpen that blade every day and just keep getting better and better. Yeah. And bring it to the next level.
And surround yourself with like-minded people.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Because, it's hard to be on, someone where you just have people that are making like 1 or 2 calls per day and you're trying to make 50 and they're almost like pulling you down because you want to see people around you doing the same as you and just pushing you to get better.
And that's what I think, too. It's the environment is a big part of it, right? And that's where, right outside here, we've got a bunch of people out there. We've got a big open space where...
boiler room.
Yeah, a boiler room where everyone's hitting the phones, right? And I know when I first started, I was in a tiny little office, right? And it was just me by myself hitting phone calls, and I was terrible at it. And so I would just flip from script to script. And then if I had a really bad call, I was pretty well defeated for the day. Because I didn't have anybody else to bounce that off of. Now we get a call that kind of goes sideways, somebody yells at us or... whatever, we can just laugh it off and keep going. Yeah. So I think the environment's a big part of it as well. Like if you're not in the right environment, you need to find that right environment.
For sure.
Because I think that makes a huge difference.
Yeah. And learn from the people around you, too. Yeah. That's what is going to make you learn the absolute fastest by asking questions and asking more questions and finally being around people that have done this before, that have the experience, and being in that place where you feel comfortable learning, number one, but then also, two, making a few mistakes along the way so that you can get to the point where you are self-sufficient and you're able to do it on your own.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So that's what we want to bring. Our goal for this year is to help people, whether you're brand new in real estate, whether you're thinking about getting into real estate, whether you're starting to grow a team, right? We want to, every single week, we're going to come at you guys and bring you fresh content on just every aspect of the real estate transaction or of the real estate, your career basically, really. Right? Not just the transaction. The career, and also just to show you what we're doing. Our goal is to hit 175 units this year, right? We're on pace already with, 17 in January closing, right? But everything we're closing in January has stemmed from months and months of, hitting the phones consistently day in and day out and doing the right activities at a high level. And it's really set us up. It set us up for a really good fourth quarter, and now it's setting us up for a really good first quarter. So make sure you tune in every week. WITWIN podcast, whenever it takes, whenever it's needed. You guys got anything else to add before we sign off here?
Thanks for listening, and hope to see you next time.
See you next time.
See you next week.
Whatever it's